Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, I was originally hoping to get my big declutter and reorganization video of my entire makeup collection done and posted today. However, I neglected to plan ahead. So as part of the reorganization of my whole collection, I ordered these like specially made inserts that go into the Alex 5 drawers that I own. And they're shipping from Australia. So I don't even have those in yet. Like they just got through customs yesterday. So I'm not getting them for another little bit. So until then, I thought I could do a chatty get ready with me because I have quite a few things I want to just talk through, and I have some new makeup here that we can play with. I know I was gonna do mostly my Pan That palette. We're gonna use like my Pan That palette kind of face palette setup for like my face. But for eyeshadow, I did just pick up the gold palette. If you did not know, Natasha Denona brought back two of her most recent limited edition palettes, the Metropolis palette, which I love. I do own it. Back over here, back over there. And the gold palette. And I have not even swatched this yet. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. And I wanted to use it at least once before I rearrange it, because I am going to rearrange this. Because I've rearranged just about every single one of my Natasha palettes. But oh boy, I cannot wait to dig into this. So I picked up this from her website, as well as another product I've been dying to try, like ever since like 2016, I think. The Blackest Black eyeshadow. Now, I finally picked up the individual eyeshadow because from what everybody told me and what I saw online, this is a different shadow than the black that is included in her mini palette. So we're gonna find out. I really just want to use this in my brows and then maybe as a liner. So we'll see how that goes. So I have some new makeup to play with. I have a bunch of stuff to talk through. Let me start and just kind of talk about the first few products I'm going to be using, because trust me, after I get chatty, I'm probably going to forget to talk about the makeup, and then we'll get started. So for primer, I'm using a new product that I picked up. This is from Bobbi Brown. This is the Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This is, again, another product that I've wanted for a while, and I just had never picked up until very recently. I started a project where I was going back and I rewatched every single one of my BWOW videos, my wishlist or washout videos, and I made a list of all the products that I said I wanted or I was going to pick up, but I didn't. So I'm working my way through that list. I'm actually going to do a whole video about it, but it's going to take me at least a few more weeks to kind of do more research and pick up some more products, but that was one of those products. I'm of course going to be using my under eye corrector. This is from my Petty Project Pan. Slight spoiler, but like we're almost done, so I need to make sure I use that every day. Today's foundation is going to be the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream, and I have the shade Fair 120. It's a little dark for me, but I think I can make it work, especially with this light concealer. This is the Tarte Ultra Creamy Shape Tape, and this is a little mini sample that I got, and I have the shade Fair Neutral. It's a little light for me, so I think with this being a little too dark, this being a little too light, we can even this out. Like you see, I do get like redness. I'm filming this in the afternoon. This whole morning, we've rearranged and redone things in the apartment, which I will talk about later. But I've been cleaning, I've been building, I've been organizing, so I've been running everywhere, and my face just gets red like this. That's what it does. I hate it. We talked about eyeshadow, and then I guess for the rest of my face products, I'm either going to be using my Pan That palettes or the, basically the face products that I have in my Petty Project Pan down here. So I think that's most of it. If anything else comes up, I'll make sure I either list it down below or pause to talk about it. But let me throw some primer on. And actually, I'm going to take off my ring. I'm terrified of like getting my ring dirty or losing it or messing it up. And they do recommend you don't keep it on when you do your makeup. So sometimes I forget to take it off. But anyway, let's go in with primer and get started. All right, so I already talked about the first thing, which was that big declutter video. I saw quite a few people came out with videos. And if you've been to my channel for a bit, you'll know that I used to do like declutter week on my channel, where I would declutter every single section of my makeup collection, but I would make it like a week's worth of videos. It seems like the trend now is to basically do it all in like 1 2-hour video. I know Lauren May Beauty just came out with one, and I've listened to it. I did speed it up, but I really enjoyed it. And I know a few other channels that I follow did something similar, where they put their whole declutter into like one giant video. So I wish I had just planned it out a little bit better because like the inserts, the way I really wanted to reorganize everything, I should have planned ahead and really ordered these like a few weeks ago before even doing the declutter, so I could kind of film it all over the course of one weekend. But you live and learn. So I'm actually hoping, as long as I can get the rest of the organizational supplies in, that I could finish filming it next week, and that the video after this one is hopefully going to be the big declutter video. But keep your eyes out. If it does get delayed again, I will post it on my community tab just to keep you guys updated. So the first thing that I have listed here that I want to talk about is like my most recent kind of makeup rut. I mentioned this like briefly in like another video and also on like Instagram and stuff. But like for the last couple of weeks, I got into this really bad rut of just like not being inspired at all by makeup and basically kind of doing like the exact same makeup every single day. And that's actually one of the biggest things that inspired me to do the big declutter that I did and filmed. Because that's like the number one thing I do to get out of a rut. But let's rewind a little bit and just talk about the makeup rut. So yeah, I think it was just because I was really stressed with like work and with other things happening. And I noticed, because normally I love makeup, like doing my makeup is like my favorite part of the day, right? And it turned from being like my calmest favorite part of the day to I need to hurry up and do this so I can start working, right? And I didn't like that. So I started, the big part was like realizing that I was in a makeup rut, because it's like I wasn't posting looks anymore because I was basically doing the same kind of neutral look. It's also really easy to fall into a makeup rut if you do a lot of panning, because you can get into a point where you're basically panning a full face of products, and then it's like, well, where's the challenge? Where's the differences? Where's the fun, right? So that was the first part. It's just acknowledging that I was in a rut, because for the longest time I was just feeling very blah, and I had no idea why. And it's like, okay, well, you're working extra hard, and you're neglecting your hobbies. Like makeup is my hobby, YouTube is my hobby. And when I don't get to like do it as much, or I'm kind of stuck in the same thing, it was just acknowledging that I was actually in a rut to begin with. So to kind of get out of a makeup rut, the first thing, which is another reason why I did the big declutter, the first thing I do when I'm in any kind of rut, whether it be like in my career, in my life, I am a big advocate of like decluttering, reorganizing, just like changing your space. Especially now more than ever when like I full-time work from home. Like I work from home full-time on the other side of this bedroom. I really don't leave my apartment all that much. So the space is really, really important to me. And it's been like that ever since I was a little girl. Like I was that kid that would like reorganize their bedroom every few weeks just because it made the space feel brand new. And I loved cleaning, I loved decluttering, I loved reorganizing. And I realized I hadn't really done a full revamp. Like I've been doing small improvements here and there as we've been in the apartment to my makeup collection, but nothing on a large scale. So I thought it was the perfect time to kind of knock out two birds with one stone. My collection desperately needed a declutter, and I was in a rut. So I thought it would help with a little bit of both. I love this e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. It just looks so pretty. So that's the first way I would start to get out of a rut, is to just kind of reorganize, like just completely redo your room, your office, whatever space that you're in. Move the furniture around, really get creative. And a few other things that I did is during the process of decluttering, I decided to pull out like some of the oldest makeup that I owned and just pull it out and use it and like get creative and have fun with it. That's another great way to kind of get yourself out of a makeup specific rut, is to pull out those old products and have fun with it. And in addition to just pulling out old products, I found that I was most inspired by like those older YouTube tutorials. So I did that. Like I deep dived on some channels that I remember loving watching, and I watched some of their like really old, circa like 2014 to 2016 YouTube tutorials for makeup. And they re-inspired me because I love them so much. Unfortunately, quite a few people have like deleted their channels and removed their videos, which made me really sad. There were quite a few videos that I really wanted to go back and rewatch, and then I just realized I couldn't because they got rid of the whole channel, which I understand. Like, you don't owe anybody anything and you don't have to keep your things online. But when it's from creators that I loved and I really wanted to go back and rewatch, it made me a little sad. Something else that really helps me get out of a rut is going through your whole collection and doing swatch parties for yourself. And a swatch party really means just like pulling out either an entire, like all your blushes and swatching them all out, or pulling out all of a specific shade of eyeshadow in your collection, like doing all of your green eyeshadows, just swatching them all out. Because I find that I'm personally so much more inspired when I see shades applied on skin than when they're just kind of in the pan. They look beautiful in the pan, don't get me wrong, but I personally, like the gears in my mind start whirring when I see them swatched out on skin. Okay, so I do see It got a little thin right up here where I have that redness, so I might just go back and add a little bit more of the concealer right around there. Just because I want that redness gone. I'm also going to take a Q-tip and just kind of clean up my lips. And the last thing that I would do to get out of a rut is you don't necessarily have to buy something new. I'm not saying this, especially if you're on a low buy or a no buy, don't think that I'm saying just go out and buy new things and use those. But really saving up and purchasing something that I've wanted for a long time, not like an impulse purchase, also really helped inspire me. Like the gold palette, which is both slightly impulse, but mostly like actual regret and kind of FOMO. Like the primer, the Bobbi Brown primer, I watched back in my BWOWs and I've wanted that like for 3 years and I never got it. So intentional purchases, I'm going to say that. Intentional purchases that inspire really helped get me out of the rut. And I would say I'm like 90% out of the rut. And I think this is basically like a fun makeup playtime because all I'm doing is filming today. This is Sunday. I have the day off. I can just play. I don't have to worry about doing something that's too work appropriate or not. So yeah, so those are kind of like my go-to tips for getting out of specifically a makeup rut. So this is the Laura Mercier container, but this is actually the Shop Miss A translucent powder I'm going to use on my under eyes. Just because I like the Laura Mercier container better. And I like to use loose powder kind of on my T-zone. Not the whole thing, but like around my mouth, under my eyes, and then maybe a little bit around the nose. Just kind of set that. I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of my face with the AOA Studio Perfect Pressed Finishing Powder. So next, I want to talk about my work and my promotion. So I've been working towards a promotion since like this time last year, is essentially when I started in earnest a course that I had to take in order to sit for my certification. I have the CAPM certification, which is the Certified Associate in Project Management. So I took that long course. I worked my way through it. I passed the exam in like November, I think it was. And so I asked for the promotion back in December. But my company, the way that they do like all big promotions and hiring and everything, it's all kind of done every year around like March or April. It's like that one time of the year where like almost everything goes through. So if you ask for anything outside of that time frame, they essentially tell you to kind of wait until the next cycle, which that kind of sucked. All right, I'm going to start doing my bronzer and contour. So for bronzer and contour, I'm going to be using these two shades from my Pan That palette. This is the ColourPop Yes Please palette. I'm going to use this darker shade as I'm going to try to use a light hand as a contour, this lighter shade as a bronzer. I also wanted to maybe use a touch of this Kevyn Aucoin contour powder, because I have like the tiniest baby pan in here. You can barely see it, but I kind of want to expand that. And then for highlighter, I'm going to go ahead and mix the Dior highlighter from my Petty Project pan and this highlighter down here in French Vanilla. So yeah, so having to wait like a few months for the promotion to essentially go through kind of sucked. But it came through. I had a new title. It took into account my my new certification, and I was happy with the title. To be frank, the money side of the promotion, it wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be. And so that was kind of a letdown. And like I'm walking this really fine line here. I really don't want to sound ungrateful. So like I'm walking this fine line between like sounding ungrateful and also just like getting what I think I'm worth like in my career, right? So I did research on like essentially the title and the certification of what you would get paid for in the tri-state area, which includes New York City, of course. And with the high cost of living, I thought I was going to be offered more money. All in all, it was around $8,000 more than what I was currently making. And part of me was like, okay, it's something, right? It's not as big as I thought it was going to be, but at least it's a raise, right? So I decided to, wait until you get your first full paycheck. That way you can see how much difference it's going to be after taxes, after everything comes out, and then see how you feel then. So I waited for that first paycheck, and when I got it, I was very happy. It was a really good paycheck, and I was like, oh, I can live with this. This is really nice. So Alvin and I, we worked together and like redid our finance spreadsheet. You know, talked about how much we were going to do in our joint accounts. You know, yada yada yada. Made plans for how much we're going to save for certain things that are upcoming, and then this week, this past a few days ago actually, I got my second paycheck after the promotion, and it was like 30% less. It was like $900 less than my first paycheck. And I was like, oh, what happened here? So I talked to my boss, I talked to HR, and I was like, okay, so which is my actual full paycheck? Is it the one that I got the first time, or is it the second one? So I talked to my boss, I talked to HR, I had to submit like an official ticket. I heard back from the ticket, and the lower salary is actually my normal salary. What happened is with this promotion, I used to be an hourly worker, and I was qualified for overtime, even though I never worked overtime. And for some reason, I don't know why the heck they did this, I was promoted in the middle of a pay period. So technically, I had like 1 week of my regular salary, my new salary, and 1 week of my old hourly pay. And because it was like that, I technically got like a bunch of overtime for that one pay period, which is what made the paycheck that I really liked. And so essentially that was like a one-time off thing that no one warned me was going to happen. Yeah. So here we are. The paycheck that I thought I was going to be getting, I'm not getting. And unfortunately, you know, after all is said and done, after the taxes, after everything comes out, my promotion calculates out to $50 more per paycheck. And that was a bit of a disappointment. It did make me feel a little down, but I'm trying to really see like the positives here, because really the boon of this promotion is the title. Like I actually have the title of project manager now, and I think that's gonna be it's really gonna open a lot of doors. I can start studying now and preparing for the next certification that I can get. So while I was a bit disappointed, especially after the paycheck fiasco, which to be frank, that was not handled well. They could have handled that a lot better. I'm doing my best to work through it. And now that it's been a few days kind of removed, I do feel a lot better, and I know what I'm going to be doing moving forward. But that was kind of a roller coaster of a few weeks right after the promotion that I worked nearly a year to get. And again, I'm trying to like walk this fine line. I don't want to sound or come across as ungrateful, because I am. But I also don't want to just kind of lay down and not advocate for myself, right? Because I do really good work. That's one thing. I work really hard and I do really good work. And I think I deserve like a good competitive salary for that. I forgot to grab a blush. You know, see, on days like this, I kind of don't want to wear a blush, because you see I still have that redness kind of like poking through. I don't really want to... Yeah, I'm going to skip blush. I feel like I don't need it. This Dior highlighter is so pretty. Like, even after repressing it and using it for a long time, it's just really pretty. I'm going to do a little bit of the highlighter on top, just to give it like an extra spark. So now is usually when I go in and do brows. So what I've been doing recently, and for a while actually, I've been going with this cream shadow. This is from Maybelline, and this is the Color Tattoo in the shade Risk Maker, and it's like almost gone. I need to buy another one soon, or try another pomade product. But really, I mean, I think a cream shadow, it has the right tone of black that I'm going for, because I hate that like a lot of brow products just like they come in really dark brown or like a warm black. I really want like a nice cool black to kind of match the rest of this. Oh yeah, by the way, I dyed my hair. I don't think you can tell, but I just did a cool blue black, which is just my favorite. I think it suits me. I like the color a lot. I like it. I think cool tones, more so than warm tones, suit me when I'm this pale. And I picked out, it was actually Taylor Wynn recommended the new IGK. They came out with a new hair dye line, and it worked really well. I'm really happy with it. Anyway, back to the brows. So I am using this to like draw some hairs up front like this, and then I'm gonna focus straight ahead so I can see what I'm doing. So I draw a few fake kind of lines like that upwards, and then I do the underside And I extend the tail on this side. I don't know if you can tell, but my natural hair, like here is like perfect. All I have to do is kind of like make it darker. But here the tail stops a little bit and my hair stopped growing. So I gotta extend that a little bit. And then I draw on top. If you're going for a more natural brow, drawing it on top isn't gonna do that. But I kind of like, let me shut up because I just messed up by talking while trying to do this. Okay, so they're not perfect. I definitely like a little bit more of an arch on this side, but I did too much of an arch on this side, so I messed up a little bit. But what I was saying is if you're going for a more natural brow, you don't want to outline on top. But I like the way this looks. Honestly, I'm going more for the, like, Morticia, like, dark, like, thin, pretty black brows than anything else. And normally, then I would just fill in with a black eyeshadow. But today, we have the Blackest Black eyeshadow. I have not used this yet. And I am excited to see how it looks in my brows. Let me get a hand mirror. That might help. Well, actually, I've got a palette right here. Okay, so they look pretty. They look really, really dark. It isn't changing my whole life right away, considering how much this single eyeshadow cost. But it looks cute. So I'll keep testing this out, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to go ahead and lock these down with the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. And if I mess up kind of the front, I can make it look a little bit more natural by going in with the tip of the Brow Gel Mascara wand. And now comes the part where I spray it on my face with setting spray. To me, like secrets to like a perfectly blended base is just blending, blending, blending all the time and soaking your face in setting spray and letting it dry completely before you do anything else or touch your face. So I've got the Milani Make It Last. And then I've got the MAC Fix Plus. Now my fan is on the other side of the room. I'm gonna get that and let my face set. All right, so my whole face is now completely dry, and I went ahead and I primed my eyes. There was not a shade in this palette that was close enough to my skin tone to use to kind of set for like the kind of look that I'm looking for. So I went ahead and just primed with the Dermacol makeup cover, and then I set the primer with the same face powder I used for the rest of my face. So I did swatch a couple of the shimmers in here, and oh my god, this one, this duochrome, I have to use it. I have to use it. So what I'm thinking is I kind of want to go slightly basic for this just to see how those shades kind of perform. So I want to use this like mustardy kind of shade all over. I really want to use the duochrome right here. And then I think I'm going to go basic lower lash line, do either one of these, the dark, just to see how it looks, okay? And I kind of want to like flare out the matte shade on the top, and I think I'm going to use a card to do that. So that is the game plan. And while I do that, let's switch topics to something a little lighter and talk about the apartment improvements Alvin and I have been doing recently. Alvin and I have officially been living together here in this apartment for now it's like a year and a half. We moved in it was January of 2021, which, wow. It's crazy to think that it's been so long already. It's gone, honestly, after we've moved, it's gone by like so fast. So when we first moved in, we basically worked for a few months just to make sure we had all of like the essentials, because before this we both lived with family. So we kind of had to buy certain things completely from scratch, like the kitchen. We had no kitchen anything, so we kind of had to start that completely from scratch. Thankfully, we moved like right after Christmas. So some family gifted us with like some pots and pans and some kitchen supplies. But essentially, we kind of put off buying, I guess, different furniture or decent sized pieces for the rest of the apartment until we made sure we had like all the necessary essentials. So I'd say like a few months in, we finally had like everything that we needed, right? And then we could kind of start going on the things that we wanted. So we started doing little projects around the apartment. And the first kind of project that we did was a few months ago. We redid the quote unquote like entryway of the apartment, right? When you come up the stairs and turn to your left, we had this kind of little alcove, and we had like a coat rack and we had a shoe rack, but they weren't really like actual shoe racks. It was like an old coffee table, I think. And the coat rack was literally a children's coat rack from the kids section of Marshall's from a few years ago. So we really just kind of wanted to upgrade that space. And what we did is we went to IKEA and we purchased like a wardrobe hutch. I'll throw pictures up, before and after. So we got the wardrobe, we got an actual shoe organizer, and it just made the space so much nicer, right? So that's what we've been doing. We've been slowly doing projects now to kind of upgrade what we have and to make it like our own. Because before, basically all of our furniture was kind of a mishmash of the furniture we had before we moved. So like nothing matched. It worked, but it didn't look pretty, and like honestly, it did not have enough storage than we needed. Like we needed more storage. So that entryway project, this is the complete after picture. I think it turned out so pretty. That entryway project was the first project. So the second project, we upgraded our bed. So we moved in with a queen-sized bed, which we thought would be big enough. It was actually Alvin's bed before we moved. But between me, him, and a corgi, the bed got small very quickly. So we decided to upgrade to a king. So we got a new mattress from IKEA. We got a new bed frame from Lowe's, actually, of all places. I think I'm going to go in, I'm trying to pick a different, no, it's too shimmery. I'm just going to use this dark brown just to darken it up a little bit on the outer corner. So we upgraded, we got new bedding, we got new pillows. We actually spent decent money buying some nice pillows, which if you're older, they make a difference. They help. They're nice. So we bought new pillows, new bedding. Here is the before and after of just like the bed part. But after we got the bed, we realized that our bedside tables were now too low because the new bed was really high. We got like a really higher, just regular wireframe bed frame to give us a lot of storage underneath the bed, because now the entire under the bed can be used as storage, and then B, give Rex some room down there, because Rex loves going under the bed. And with our previous bed, there was no room down there. It was a futon technically, so like there were things down there, and so he couldn't go underneath it. So he was very sad. So now he gets to go under the bed, and he is very happy. So that bed project, that by itself, we did that a month or two ago, and then we waited, we took a break, and this month, actually most of last week and this weekend, we did the desk/entertainment area, like on the opposite side of the bedroom, and then we did our room divider. While I talk through that, I'm going to do the duochrome shade all over my lid now, and I'm going to use the NYX Glitter Glue to hold it down. So I'll throw up before pictures of both of the areas. Essentially, we only have one TV, and we have it in the bedroom, just because we really don't need it anywhere else. So we hook the TV up to Alvin's laptop, and we basically use it as a monitor, and that's where we watch all of our streaming services, because we don't actually have cable. But that desk, it's just an old, like that desk is like 20 years old. It was old, it was dusty, it was way too heavy. Like honestly, like it's way too big and sturdy just to be in an apartment, to be frank. And it didn't match anything. Again, like nothing really matched. So it looks beautiful. That shade. I think I might have used either a little bit too much glitter glue, or it's just a really thin shade, but it looks really pretty. So anyway, so the desk is really old, quite ancient, really heavy, doesn't match anything, and it wasn't really organized. Like we needed really like an entertainment center, right? So we wanted to replace that, and then the room divider. So the room divider was made up of old bookshelves that Alvin had at his old place. And they were, again, also almost 20 years old. They were thin, they were kind of rickety, it didn't give us enough storage. So that was the main purpose of redoing this, was to help with our storage and to just have everything match and just have it be like cohesive. I really want to try this shade with the duochrome liquid shadows that I have. I think this would look beautiful with it. Wow, so I think that's it for like the lid area. That looks really pretty. I like that a lot. So we started with the kind of TV stand / entertainment center first, and Alvin was actually, hi baby. So Alvin, what's on her nose? No. So Alvin and I planned this out. So Alvin actually planned out the room divider and the TV stand before we even got started. We got the measurements for a bunch of different bookshelves from IKEA, and we kind of built our own like pieces out of it. So what he did is he planned out how we were going to do the TV stand, which was essentially going to be like two small bookshelves that we could put storage in, and then put a desktop on top of it. And then we put two smaller, thinner bookshelves on each side to be even more storage. So he planned that out. He also kind of sketched out what we were going to do for the room divider, but we ended up actually building the desk first. That way we wouldn't have to move the furniture around the new room divider. Makes sense. So what we did is we placed a big IKEA online order and got delivered what we could get delivered, which was like most of the thin, long bookshelves and a few of the smaller ones. And then Friday, I took off of work Friday, and we actually went to our local IKEA and picked up the rest of what we would need. So we dropped Rex off at my grandmother's house because the apartment actually had to come in and do maintenance that morning, and we couldn't leave him here unless we caged him, like crated him, and he hates the crate. I don't like putting him in the crate. So we dropped him off at my grandma's house for some dog sitting. He was very much spoiled over there. We went to IKEA, we picked up everything, loaded it in my grandmother's car. She actually has like a nice SUV, so we were able to use that to get everything in one trip, which was awesome. We brought it all back to the apartment, brought everything upstairs, broke down the old furniture, brought it to the apartment dumpsters for pickup, cleaned up everything, and then we built the TV stand the first day. So that was on Friday, and I'll throw a picture afterwards. It ended up looking so nice, especially with the light. We put a light bulb, a smart light bulb, right behind the TV, and so now it glows from the back. It looks so pretty. So we did that the first night, picked Rex up, came home, ate dinner, and then the next day we slept in a little bit, and we built the room divider. So the room divider was like 3 big bookshelves kind of stacked. They were basically 2x4 bookshelves with cubbies, and then we had a little extra one on the end. So we spent all day putting all of those together, organizing everything, and this is the final picture of the room divider. It took so long to get it built and get everything in there, but I was so happy with how it turned out. Not only do we have a better like room divider, it looks so nice, it just looks very aesthetically pleasing. It's so much more storage, like all those drawers on the bottom, almost all of our clothes fit in there now. So now the closet is almost completely open for me to do more storage, and I can really optimize the office, which is going to be one of our next projects. But the room divider itself, it's so nice, and I have so much more room for books. That was the big thing, is that we both love books. I work in publishing, I've got a lot of books, he's got a lot of books, so we needed more room for books, and it was perfect. I'm so happy with how it turned out. So yeah, so this is how it turns out. Those are our projects we've done so far. Next project, we want to redo Alvin's, he has like a little kind of workstation in the living room. It's like his toolbox, he's got a little work desk, and then he's got crates for storage. I really want to either get him a bigger work desk for over there, or we get him another toolbox for like storage, because he's already used up all of them. He does blue collar work, he needs a lot of tools, he's got a lot of tools, so I think that'd be very nice for him. And then after we do that, we're going to move in here and do the office. Now, really, the vanity section, we're leaving alone. This is basically done. But, like, the work side of things, I need to get, like, a new desk. We're going to get, like, an L-shaped desk for over there. We're going to optimize the closets. And then I think we're going to get new bookshelves. So, yeah, so we're going really great. And I love having a project to work on. Like, I can't just be lazy. Also, I'm going to use this bright white shade for my inner corner. But, like, I need to be productive and working on things to, like, feel good, which I know I need to work on that. But there's nothing better to me than spending a day organizing, cleaning, and then getting to just relax and have dinner in a beautiful space, right? So I've been really happy with that, and I'm really excited for us to plan our next project. Recently, I've been loving doing just, like, a white eyeliner in the waterline. It makes me look a lot more awake, a lot more, up and at 'em. So I'm going to use this white eyeliner from NYX. Just pop it in my waterline. And for mascara, I've got these 2 newer mascaras from AOA Studio that they sent me in PR. I've got their Volume Booster Mascara and their Length Elongating Mascara. I'm going to go ahead and layer these. Now, I will say these 2, I do like better than some of the other mascaras. They came out with like a bunch of mascaras at once, and I've been testing them. The curl mascara, not my favorite. It really didn't do much of anything. It actually kind of weighed down my lashes. And then this fat lash mascara, I think it's supposed to be a lower lash line mascara because of the way the brush is. Like, see how skinny that is? It did nothing for my top lashes. And then I can't use it on the bottom lashes because it transfers something horrible. So these, I'm not a huge fan. But so far, I've been liking these. I think it's the length one that has the best brush by far. I do like this brush. It really gets in there and separates them out. And then the volume brush is actually really, really nice too. So I think that's why I've liked these two better. They just have better brushes on them. But the formula doesn't seem to be as heavy as like the curl one. Because for some reason, that curl one like weighed down my lashes like something fierce, which is normally a problem I don't have because I already have a lot of lashes. I've got a lot of hair in general. So anyway, so that's what these look like layered. And that is it for this look. To be frank, I really don't wear lipstick that much anymore. Normally I would just throw a chapstick on, but I'm really happy with this. I really like how everything just blended together. It came out. I'm really happy with the palette, honestly. I cannot wait to keep digging in here. I want to rearrange this. I'm going to rearrange it sometime soon, but I'm excited to keep using it. And I'm glad I was actually able to get my hands on it. And as far as I'm aware, I think it's still available on the Natasha website. If it is, you can go check it out. They have the gold and they had the Metropolis, which were previously limited edition, and they're brought back. I think they also brought back Lila, because I didn't know Lila was discontinued, and I just panned that palette. If you missed that, I'll have that playlist up in the cards. So that's it. Oh my god, I feel like I've been talking for like a few hours now. Thank you to everyone who watched all the way to the end. If you made it this far, comment ice cream or the ice cream emoji down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.